I have the pleasure of interviewing Ross Arnel, a friend of mine for now many years. He's been a member of this chapter for seven years.
7 years.
Group benefits, health is what we get from Ross every single day. His commitment to his profession and his commitment to us is second to none, although we might be all tied for first. But Ross is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm looking forward to opening up not only his professional life and what he's dealing with today to better educate us and inform us as to what's going on in the market, but to get to know Ross a little bit better personally, just in case some of our newer members haven't had a chance to get together with Ross to get to know what kind of person he is. So with that, we'll start with a little bio kind of history question. Tell us a little bit about you in the college days.
Okay.
What was going on? What were your interests?
Well, first of all, I went to Widener University, which is in Chester, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Edgemont, which is in Westchester County in New York. Really big school. I had 150 in my graduating class. So that when I was looking for a school, I was also looking for a school that would be that type of warmth in a smaller community. And when I took the tour of the campus, and people said hello, and I was blown away by that, and I realized because they're not from New York, so it was a warmer thing. But I was on the tennis team. I DJ'd a comedy radio program for 3.5 years. Was president of the Hillel Club. Ran the campus nightclub. I was pretty busy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, now that you're out of school by a couple of years,
yeah.
As I said, you're the employee.
I didn't take a pony to school.
That's good to know. Did you walk uphill both ways?
It's going downhill now.
Okay. How has the employee benefits industry changed over the years?
You know, when I started in the business, there were so many health plans. There were like 15 different carriers that had plans. And each carrier could have 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 different options. I loved the creativity in designing these programs. And then a little thing called health reform started to come in. And the carriers started coming in. So now going from like 15 carriers, then now down to like, at least for under 100 employees in New York, there's down to about 5. So there's a lot fewer options to choose from, which means you need a broker who really works with the carriers, works with all the carriers, and also knows how to work with other programs like Aflac and Colonial to fill in those gaps. Also, there's PEOs that people have heard of, which is professional employer organizations, where you can pool with other size companies to get lower rates.
So speaking of lower rates, hope this doesn't throw you off here, but with less competition, obviously there's not going to be the kind of pricing competition that you would ordinarily like to see. How much is the government involved in making sure that the industry stays affordable for those that need coverage, which is everyone?
Well, it's funny you said that because I know people have thought about leaving the country.
As a result?
As a result of it. What health reform was supposed to do is this. They were supposed to make things competitive and make things more affordable. The only thing that they really did do is that there's no pre-existing conditions and there's out-of-pocket limits, but honestly, it has not helped.
And when you say no pre-existing conditions, you mean no one can be turned away for having a pre-existing condition?
Correct.
Well, that's good to know.
Okay. And by the fact with that is that, honestly, I've had people who are HIV positive or who have AIDS, and they move from one carrier to another. They can't ask any questions.
Interesting. So you're educating us right now, but how do you educate your clients so that they get the most out of their coverage?
Besides going over all the benefits and trying to really speak to every individual and going over the plans for their offices, I like to onboard everyone and so I can answer their questions to really get the feel that they've got things more in control. But honestly, people have to participate. You have to find out if your doctors participate in the network. You have to get pre-authorization for a surgery. You have to make sure that your anesthesiologist is participating in the network. That's important, but if problems come up and you make mistakes, you have our number, so you can call us.
So a quick question on that. There's a number of us in here, and I pretty much know everyone except for our guests at this point, who have small businesses or they're solopreneurs. Some are actually not the owners of their business, but actually work within a business like a bank or something else, where they're 1099. What you do, how can you help those that are situated with either a solopreneurship or something that wouldn't necessarily qualify for group planning? Are you able to help those people as well, or advise them as to where to go?
A couple of things with that. One is, if you're an individual and so you're working and you're in good health, we do have plans that we write through associations or unions, so those plans are available for you, especially 1099 people.
Yeah.
There can be offices where the owner says, you know what, I can't afford, I'm not going to pay for my staff. Well, we can handle people individually, or we can set up a group plan, and through payroll deduction, those people's coverages can be taken care of. The other part of it, which I've done with this group many times over the years, if you have questions, you have issues with your kids and other things, and you need help with some things and just would like some feedback, give us a call. I'll help you with that.
That's awesome. Thank you. Jumping into Medicare. With regard to Medicare planning, it's a major part of your business. What do you need to do to prepare, and how do you make a difference?
Well, my mother is turning 90 in June, so preparing can be having a good walker to get around the facility. Hopefully she doesn't see this.
You'd make her so proud.
Well, yeah. The first of the month that you turn 65, that is when you're eligible for coverage. That's when you can enroll in the program. It's very important to know that Medicare is different. I have a lot of people, they really feel like they're a deer caught in the headlights. So you need someone who works with people in this area, can guide you in that direction. You need to find out if your physicians participate with Medicare, or do they participate with Medicare with that carrier. I want to know what type of prescriptions you take, because we may put you with one carrier with prescriptions and the supplemental coverages in other areas. And the other major thing is, it's not uncommon that someone who's turning 65, their dependents, obviously their kids are younger. If they go off the health coverage, how are they going to be covered? So that's when people come to us also.
Interesting. Where do you get most of your referrals, and who should we be specifically trying to refer you to?
You personally should introduce me to a lot of people.
Right, okay. Come to the Zimner Invitation. I'll march you around.
I am coming.
I know you are.
Any business owner that we work with obviously is going to be a good referral. Anyone who sees the work that we do is a good referral. I find that CPAs, freelance bookkeepers, and people in my own profession in insurance who focus on life insurance, estate planning, and investment, those are great referrals because we both handle different parts of the business.
Perfect. Good to know. All right, my favorite part of the interview session is fast money. I don't know if you've been prepped for this, but you've seen it in real time, so hopefully you're ready for this. What is your favorite book and why?
My favorite books, I like historical novels, and two of my favorite in New York are by Pete Hamill. It's called Forever. It's about a guy who can't, if he ever leaves the island of New York, he'll die. So that's another uplifting thing to talk about. Also is Jack Finney's Time and Again. They're both about going back in time, and it all happens in New York, so I love those.
Good answer. What is the thing you like doing most and why?
I love playing tennis, I love cycling, and I love to go to as much theater as I can.
Very nice. All right, can you do this in 30 seconds? A quick, funny networking story.
Years ago, I was in my synagogue in Hoboken, and I thought, just like Dee and I wanted to put together a networking group. So I got people together, and one of the people who came to the meeting was a funeral director. And I asked him, without even thinking, I said, can you be creative in your marketing?
It's recession-proof for sure.
And he said, yes, I can. And I said, can you think outside the box? and he started laughing hysterically, and I was so embarrassed, but they do a lot of blue humor.
Wow, that was good.
Yeah, okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite place to go on vacation?
Well, I loved Florence. I loved Paris. I loved any historical points. Makes history come alive in New York. But I love New Mexico.
New Mexico?
New Mexico. I love going to Taos and Santa Fe. It's terrific.
Wow, I've never been there before, and I'm a Southwest guy. But very nice to hear.
There's GPS.
Yeah. But there's no direct flights. You can't get there from New York. I've looked into it. There's nothing nonstop.
Of course there is.
Nonstop.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, I fly to Albuquerque all the time.
Oh, I'll figure it out. All right. What are the last words you want us to remember you by as we conclude this interview?
I want people to know that, just like the show Friends, that I'll be there for you. I also like that it's not business. It's really personal. So
very nice.
Okay.
You're off the hot seat. Great job, guys.